Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of It's Me, Shri. Today we are harvesting our seeds. We're deep into the growing season. Chances are your weather is starting to warm up and maybe some of your plants are starting to go to seed or bolt. This is a great time to harvest seeds now so you never have to buy those plants again next season. Today we're going to harvest seeds. I'm going to show you how for these varieties all here. And then we're also going to do some just fun overall harvesting. So we're going to harvest tomatoes, cucumbers. I have a ton of greens growing. And as we do that together, I'm going to go throughout the garden, pinpoint a few things that are going to seed, walk you through how to harvest and save those, and then we're going to chat about how to store them. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's be real. Part of the real reason you're here is because you want to see what we have growing in the garden. So let's go ahead and start harvesting these guys. These are the Juliet tomato. You can find them in your nursery. I am going to harvest this bunch. The cool thing about this is once the tomatoes start to blush, you can actually prune them and let them continue to ripen on the counter. So we have this guy. There's a deep one back here. This is gorgeous. I've been patiently waiting for this one to harvest as well. Look at that, full ripe. This is the kind of stuff that you buy at the grocery store and they call it tomatoes on the vine. Okay, I'm actually gonna park myself right next to those Juliet tomatoes. There are some again here we harvested from down here because there's some seeds in this patch right now. If you look closely, these are stalk flowers. This is what they look like when they have started to go to seed. Right next to me, I have some gorgeous stalk flowers currently in bloom. You can see that here. But these are slowly going to seed. So each of these is actually a little pod that will eventually dry out. If you crack it open, which I can show you, you'll find seeds inside. So these are eventually going to dry out and you can use them in your next season. There we go, nice and focused. So each of those little dots is a seed that will dry out and then you have your own stalk flowers. And right next to it is actually what these specific flowers are. These were really cool too because these are actually volunteer stalks. I grew these stalks in this patch right behind it. These seeds fell over onto the ground and they're growing right outside the raised bed, as you can see. So really easy, prolific flower to grow. I love stalks, they're gorgeous. You're most likely to find stalks in Trader Joe's as a cut flower. They make beautiful arrangements. Next up in our seed harvesting journey is dill. This is dill. It's most likely found in pickles. It's a really great herb for dressings. This is the dill starting to bolt. It produces these gorgeous little yellow flowers, excellent for pollinators. These are not quite ready for harvesting yet because the flower hasn't dried out, but look how beautiful. So I'm gonna let this continue to grow, continue to bolt. Once it's dried out, you simply save all of these little yellow dots and you have seeds for next year. Easiest way to grow dill without having to purchase it from any store or purchase the seeds from anywhere online. Next up in our harvesting journey is our lettuce grow. There are a lot of greens here. You can see some kale. There's also Swiss chard and some herbs. I'm going to be making enchiladas tonight and I do want to put some greens in them. So I am going to harvest Swiss kale and drop them in our little basket. A good harvest tip is to harvest from underneath. The newer leaves, the more tender leaves are growing here from the middle and at the top. So the older ones are all down here and that's what I'm pulling out today. So this is dinosaur kale, which is really fun and easy to grow. These leaves are nice and tender and healthy, good in omelets, pastas, literally anything. So I have some kale with me today. If we go a little bit to the right and then even down below, I have some rainbow Swiss chard. So let's go ahead and harvest some of these as well. My favorite thing about rainbow Swiss chard is their roots are actually rainbow in color, and I'll show you those in another video. But the roots throughout the lettuce grow start to turn pink and yellow. It's really beautiful. Again, we want to harvest from the outside. Goes for pretty much any greens, lettuce, anything like that. We'll harvest from the top here, give you a better view. There we go. These look so good. It's gonna take a big bunch, actually. Here we go, Rainbow says chard. Our basket is looking beautiful and colorful. Let's head on to our next seed. In these little pods that I've fully dried out are seeds that I can use for next year. So if I go ahead and open this up, look at how cute. These are all gorgeous, beautiful seeds that I can use for next season. Let me go ahead and take this off for you. Give you a closer look at these cutie little pods. So these are a little green still, so they still need to dry out. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to store them in a dry place just outside. They'll air dry. And then once that's complete, I'll put them in a brown bag or a little paper bag. Even a Ziploc works. Just don't forget to label it. And then I'll save these for next season. How beautiful. Let's go see if there's something to harvest or another seed for us to take a look at. Hiding in our little tomato jungle are actually a lot of tiny, tiny tomatoes ready for us to harvest. So I see some here. Go ahead and prune. Oh man, this one was literally the definition of sun drying. I probably should have grabbed this one a little sooner. There's this branch right here. This one's almost perfect. You can see a couple green ones at the very bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that there. Same with this guy on the very left, but I think there's some seeds on the other side. Let's go find out. So behind this giant tomato stem, that will move out of the way, are basil. Basil is a plant that loves summer heat, but can bolt very easily. So these right here are basil flowers. You can see some white ones back here. Now, the one thing that you can do to keep your basil continuing to grow is you can pinch these off. This will tell the plant, hey, I don't want you to go to seed yet. I want you to keep making basil for me. But if you're thinking to yourself, I just want the basil seeds, these flowers are going to turn into seeds that you can use, similar to the dill for next year, okay? So this is a great, easy way, and I wish you could smell this right now because even touching the leaves, I'm getting wafts of basil. But this is an easy way for you to save basil seeds for next year too. There are some tomatoes hiding behind here. Look at that. Let's go ahead and harvest this bunch. Beautiful. Look at that. I love me some gorgeous red cherry tomatoes. I have some cucumbers here. I will definitely be turning these into pickles. So we have a couple cukes hiding underneath the vines that we're going to harvest, which I'm really excited about. The last seed that we're gonna chat through are my onion flowers. I showed you these. They're actually already all falling out. I showed you these in my onion video. I'm just gonna tie the bag up because they are already falling out and I don't wanna lose them. You can literally shake them like a rattle and they're coming off. So all of these are the black onion seeds right here. If you shake it, you can hear them. They're all falling out of the flower just like that. This is how I'm gonna store them. In this bag, I have white onion, and in this bag, I have red onion. The coolest thing about saving your own seeds is that they're acclimated to your weather. This is especially true for onions, especially because they're kind of picky. Or if you remember, day length, the amount of sun they get, all determine how successful your onion harvest could be, how much they're going to bulb up. So it's really helpful. I just crushed these all. It's really fun. They're all starting to fall out. But this is the easiest, bestest way. I just start these from seed next season, grow each one on their own, and each of these is going to turn into one of those gorgeous onion bulbs. Thank you so much for joining me on today's It's Mushroom video. We talked about different things in your garden that are probably bolting that you can start saving seeds for next season. And then you also came with me as we did one of our summer harvests, tomatoes, cucumbers, kale, Swiss chard. I'm so excited to pickle the cucumbers and then eat everything else. So this is just the beginning of the garden season. Thanks for joining me in part 2 of this specific topic. We're going to cover saving seeds for tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, all of those bigger, juicier, yummier, delicious vegetables. Today we covered lots of flowers, things like stalks, basil, sweet peas, things that maybe have completely outgrown the season. But in the next episode, we'll talk about ways to actually save seeds, and I'll show you the methods for tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, and more. Thank you so much for joining me today. That's all, and I'll see you all next time.